All right, you guys. So right off the bat, I wanted to talk a little bit about Call of Duty 2027. Obviously, we've had a lot of conversations surrounding Modern Warfare 4 and everything that's coming this year in 2026. But I think with some new developments, we could kind of connect the dots with COD 2027. And some of you guys were letting me know you were interested in kind of seeing what we know so far. Now, obviously, everything that we know right now about Call of Duty 2027 is leaks. It's not confirmed by any means at all. Now, some of these leaks could be right. Some of these leaks could be wrong. But the information that we do have regarding the next Call of Duty after this year is that Call of Duty 2027 is being developed by Sledgehammer Games. And it is going to be a completely new sub-franchise with complete new characters. Now, this is a massive claim, and I think personally this is a really good direction for Call of Duty moving forward. I think, and I mean, I've lost count how many times I've said this, but we really don't need any more Modern Warfare. We really don't need any more Black Ops, and it doesn't mean that you can't dive into some of those same features. I mean, like, Call of Duty can release a game set in the modern era that isn't Modern Warfare, and Treyarch can release a game that's about espionage or being a spy or being in the CIA that isn't Black Ops. It doesn't. It can be something completely different with new characters in a completely new conflict. And I think Call of Duty needs that. It needs some of that originality. It needs some very good new written characters that we can get behind with new lore, with new story to explore them. Now, as for setting, there has been different reports, but the newest report, the best report, is that the game's set in a modern period. And this came from Call of Duty themselves, and this came with Charlie Intel saying that he heard that the next game was taking place in the modern era. Now, the modern era could mean 2027, 2028, 2029, around that time. I mean, that's what I'm pretty sure is going to happen. Now, this is kind of what I meant also from our earlier statement. Sledgehammer Games can definitely do a game that's set in 2027 that doesn't have to be Modern Warfare at all. It doesn't have to have anything to do with it. It could tackle a completely different team. It could tackle just a regular soldier in a big war that's going on, and we just follow them. Or it could tackle another special force guy, maybe in Delta, or it could tackle maybe a Marine, or it could tackle so many different characters. It could do so many different things. I mean, look at Call of Duty Ghosts and how original that game was and how it felt. Let's look at Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and how that felt. Let's look at Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. They can tell these stories that are completely separate from each other that are very good in terms of campaign. I'm not talking about the multiplayer or anything else, but the campaign, the story could be so good if you focus on that campaign. You can build from that. The campaign needs to be one of the main subjects again, and it needs to stop concentrating so much on, other modes like Warzone and things that really take away from the experience of a story-driven campaign. And I think Call of Duty 2027 has a really big opportunity here to do that, and I think they could do that. In terms of like movement and how the game might feel, we know that the game is going to have potentially omni movement, but there's going to be no tactical sprint. There's going to be a major focus on gameplay feel, and if we look back at Modern Warfare 3, it had a really good feeling. Sledgehammer Games did that one, and although the campaign sucked, the movement and the multiplayer and all that was really fun. So you could expect really good stuff in terms of mechanics for the game. However, something that's really weird is one of the leaks claimed that the game was going to have a pretty heavy focus on hand-to-hand combat. The words that they used were martial arts mechanics, karate style sort of attacks, and that is very weird, and I don't know what that means. Like, what would that entail? What would a campaign for Call of Duty have to do for us to use karate moves in it? I mean, that sounds ridiculous. That's the word I'll use. It sounds very ridiculous, but obviously, like we said, that it could be true or it could not be true. But that's what we know in terms of mechanic. It will have a heavy focus on hand-to-hand combat and martial arts fighting. In terms of mode, we saw some stuff here that Get High may make a return, and at the time of the leaks, no zombies were planned at all. It was not going to be connected to any sub-franchise. Once again, it was going to be something completely new, and it was going to launch its own story. Now, I think that from what we do have here, this is all very intriguing. This is all very interesting. Obviously, these leaks came from Charlie Intel, from Hope when he was still leaking. So putting it all together, this gives us a better idea of what to expect for Call of Duty 2027. We don't have a name for the game. We don't know exactly what the main story is going to be about, but we do know that Sledgehammer Games is making it. The fact that Sledgehammer Games is working on this, and this is a game that they're doing completely. They're not picking up from Infinity War. They're not doing anything else that they don't want to do. This is something they potentially want to work on. They're getting the opportunity to introduce us to new characters and new sub-franchise. I think this is really cool because I think Sledgehammer Games has a certain reputation, but they can definitely deliver if they're given the opportunity. They gave us Advanced Warfare, which was awesome in my opinion. I mean, if they can bring some of that originality back, if they can bring some of those, some of the really cool stuff that they did for that game, I'm excited to see what they can do in 2027, what they can do with, a whole bunch of new technology and a new story. What they did with Modern Warfare 3, a few years ago was very good too in terms of the multiplayer and in terms of the support and the movement. That was really cool. The campaign obviously lagged because Infinity Ward had a lot of input. They probably didn't even want to work on it so much. And, you see the potential of what the gameplay and the movement can be like for Sledgehammer. And now they just have to pair a really good story with it. And I think they could. So this is the information that we know so far for Call of Duty 2027. What do you guys think? Are you excited? What do you think this game may be?